On this Friday night, two masked men on the run after they walked into a Mississauga restaurant and set off a bomb. Dozens were inside, including kids celebrating birthdays. And the mystery for police tonight, why were they targeted? Plus, a watershed moment for the Me Too movement, as disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein is charged, cuffed, and led into court. But why now? We zero in on the accusations that changed everything. And will millennials decide the Ontario election? This is The National. Police are hunting two suspects tonight after a brazen bomb attack at a popular Indian restaurant in Mississauga, a fast-growing city just west of Toronto. It was an act as shocking as it is rare in this country, and one that has triggered a strong response.
I want to assure everyone that every police resource is being used right now to locate the people responsible for this horrendous act.
It's been almost 24 hours now, and the two alleged bombers still out there. About 10:30 last night, they simply walked into the Bombay Bell restaurant, faces covered, wearing dark hoodies. They set off an explosion, then fled. There were two private parties underway at the time. Children there, too. None of them were hurt, but 15 adults were, 3 critically. But tonight, we can tell you they've since been stabilized, and all victims have been released from hospital. But still, one of the biggest question marks tonight, why bomb a restaurant full of customers? And it's not just police chasing down an answer. Our Vicadopia spoke to some of those people affected by the attack.
Numbering the evidence, poring over the debris, anything that can help police piece it all together. A typical evening at a busy, popular restaurant shattered in one violent moment. One witness described it as something like a mini earthquake.
There was a child party, a birthday party, so everything was destroyed. Lots of blood in the floor. Many people screaming. They are trying to run out from the restaurant.
The owner was at the restaurant when it was bombed. His son-in-law is in shock and has no idea why it happened.
It's surreal, to say the least. You're not expecting it.
Police are still searching for a motive.
There's no indication that this is a terrorist act, no indication that this is a hate crime. At this time, we haven't ruled anything out.
Moments after the explosion, a witness tells us they saw two men running toward this subdivision, and earlier we saw police searching this area.
So when the explosion happened, I was just standing behind my car, trying to get my groceries from my truck. And then I heard the noise and stood up to see what happened. And then I saw two people running crazy fast.
Now this quiet subdivision is part of the crime scene. Officers looking to people here for anything that will help, noting down every word and every footprint, any possible leads. Neighbors are in disbelief.
Thought maybe it was a shooting or something, and just blew my mind that, you know, this could happen right in front of my door.
When I came here, I see all this action and a lot of police around. I say, oh man, this is crazy.
It's very shocking because you don't hear these kind of incidents happening in Canada, especially in Mississauga, because it's a very safe place to live in.
The mayor, who's eaten here many times, appealed to anyone who might know something about the attackers.
The people who have done this need to answer for their crimes, and they need to be brought to justice.
But with just one photograph of the suspects and no details of vehicles or motives, the hunt goes on for more evidence and answers. Vicadopia, CBC News, Mississauga.
Now, uncertainty breeds fear, and police and political leaders are trying to form a united front against it by reminding people not to jump to any conclusions.
They felt that it was not or could not be a hate crime or a terrorist incident, but they haven't ruled out anything yet.
There is no indication that this incident is in any way linked to any terrorist threat.
There is, at this stage, no indication of any connection to national security or any issue related to hate crimes.
And one more interesting note on this. Mayor Bonnie Crombie, who you saw just a moment ago, she's actually not the only prominent politician who's been to the Bombay Bell. Federal Science Minister Navdeep Bains lives in Mississauga and has been there several times, and Prime Minister Justin Trudeau as well has eaten there. Okay, a look at what else we have on tap for tonight. The polls are now closed in Ireland in a vote that could change that country's strict abortion laws. As we await results, Nella Ayed talks to both sides of the debate. And a little later, will they or won't they? We try to make sense of Donald Trump's latest comments about whether he plans to meet North Korea's Kim Jong-un face-to-face. But first, a turning point for the Me Too movement. Harvey Weinstein shackled in court, facing rape charges. The disgraced movie mogul's accusers did not mince words today about what happened. But let's start with the CBC's Stephen D'Souza and Weinstein's day in court.
It's a scene many of his accusers never thought they'd see. Harvey Weinstein, a man used to walking red carpets, now in handcuffs, doing a perp walk.
To lure young women into situations where he was able to violate them sexually.
His smile vanished in court as he was formally charged with 2 counts of rape and 1 of a criminal sexual act. It's been 7 months since his behavior, long rumored in the industry, became national headlines. Lucia Evans was one of the first to tell her story. Like so many others, she says Weinstein used his powerful position in the entertainment world to lure her to a meeting, where she says he forced her to perform oral sex. That alleged 2004 encounter led to one of today's charges. The 2 rape charges date to 2013. The accuser in that case has yet to tell her story publicly. Weinstein's lawyer says the disgraced movie mogul will plead not guilty. He says they'll fight to get the charges dismissed, that they're not supported by the facts, and that all of his clients' sexual encounters were consensual.
Mr. Weinstein did not invent the casting couch in Hollywood, and to the extent that there is bad behavior in that industry, that is not what this is about. Bad behavior is not on trial in this case.
Benjamin Braffman has represented controversial clients before. In 2011, he got rape charges dismissed against French politician Dominique Strauss-Kahn after questioning the accuser's credibility. Here, too, he says the women's stories, when cross-examined in front of a jury, won't hold up.
Assuming we get 12 fair people who are not consumed by the movement that seems to have overtaken this case.
Harvey, are you sorry?
The man who once ruled Hollywood must now wear a tracking monitor and is the subject of at least 2 more investigations. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, New York.
More than 70 women have come forward with allegations against Harvey Weinstein, ranging from rape to sexual harassment. And that long list includes some big names in Hollywood. Gwyneth Paltrow, Angelina Jolie, Kate Beckinsale, Ashley Judd, Salma Hayek. But one of his first accusers was actor Rose McGowan. And today, she joined a chorus of women reacting to his arrest. And as Tashana Reed shows us, they had a lot to say.
I mean, this man had hunting grounds.
Rose McGowan alleges Harvey Weinstein raped her. She says she never thought she'd see him in handcuffs.
Today we rejoice. Tomorrow will be hard again. But today we can have a moment for all of us. This is for all of us who've been told we are nothing.
Reaction exploded online. In the same space where women shared their stories of abuse using the hashtag #MeToo, today they use that same platform to celebrate. Sending love to all my sisters today who stood up against a monster, tweeted actress Mira Sorvino, who says Weinstein sexually harassed her. Actress Asia Argento, who alleges Weinstein raped her, simply wrote, "What took you so long, Harvey?" For Montreal model Marianne Trudel, this day was a long time coming. Trudel came forward with her own allegations against Weinstein last fall and was interviewed by New York police.
It's a very hopeful moment for looking forward. I'm a mother, and it makes me very happy to know that these things will most likely be much more difficult for these predators to be doing than they used to be even just yesterday.
Trudel says Weinstein sexually assaulted her in a New York restaurant 10 years ago.
We shine a light on this victory, even though it's not completely won yet.
It's scary. And
Toronto lawyer Robin Parker calls today a watershed moment.
One of the interesting things about someone as powerful as Harvey Weinstein being charged is that individual women in in our small lives who aren't famous people, I think will feel more empowered to come forward.
While the legal fight is just beginning, Trudell says she's hopeful.
We've come a long way just since this has first been exposed, and there's a long way to go, but we're certainly on the way.
A long way to go, but women who helped launch the Me Too movement say they're ready for what's to come. Tashana Reed, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, as more and more women have spoken up about sexual misconduct, next week on The National, you'll hear a conversation between Rosemary and a driving force in that effort, Gloria Allred, the lawyer whose clients helped bring down Bill Cosby. Take a look.
I'm attorney Gloria Allred. I represent 33 accusers of Bill Cosby.
For decades, it seems attorney Gloria Allred could be found at the center of every big news celebrity case advocating for women. No surprise then, just moments after news of Bill Cosby's verdict, Allred declared victory.
Women were finally believed. Bill Cosby, 3 words for you. Guilty, guilty, guilty! Thank you. How are you?
Good.
Very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Ms. Allred. In the wake of that incredible news, we went to meet Gloria Allred in her Los Angeles office.
There's lots of things that critics say about you. Self-promoter, grandstander, media manipulator, sensationalist. Do you understand why people try to label you that way?
There are many people who would like women to be silenced, and they're very, very disturbed by the fact that I help individuals who are not celebrities, who allege that they have been victimized by celebrities, to be heard. And there are people who don't like that. But women's voices matter.
You can watch for Rosie's interview right here next week on The National. Now, women's voices are also an important part of another story tonight, that emotionally charged abortion referendum in Ireland. We are only expecting official results tomorrow, but according to exit polls tonight, it looks like Irish voters may end a 35-year ban on abortion. The CBC's Nala Ayed has more on what's being called a once-in-a-generation decision.
Dublin, the final day of campaigning, and a delicate dance of yes and no. Behind this fault line is a long, painful road.
We'd wanted to bring her home to meet my family.
Devastating are the stories that made today possible, like that of Amy Walsh, was refused an abortion even though her fetus had no chance of survival, and her life was ultimately at risk.
So I just remember begging them, saying, please, can you not induce me? Like, if you're worried about this, please. And they just said as long as my baby had a heartbeat, they could not intervene until my life was in danger.
She was forced to travel to Liverpool for an abortion. The tortured story goes back to another referendum and a constitutional amendment that banned abortions. Countless hushed stories since of extreme measures.
They have their friends punch them in the stomach, they throw themselves down the stairs, they use wire coat hangers, they have aggressive sex, they abuse their body in a million different ways in the hope of bringing on a termination.
Was able to build up the courage and say, I travelled.
An estimated 170,000 opted to travel instead, often in secret. Here, some of their stories are read out loud. The government wants it all to stop.
This is a once-in-a-generation vote, and as I say, if there is a yes vote, Ireland will still be the same place, just a place that's a little bit more compassionate.
Unfathomable for them, too, is the government's proposal to allow all abortions up to 12 weeks. They play a recording of a fetal heartbeat to make their point.
When you've trained, when you've worked in the area of saving life, abortion is life-ending. It is never life-saving. Our government has never reached out to these families, to these women, except to offer them to end the life of their child.
With such impassioned arguments, no surprise that come the referendum, the turnout is so high. Among the voters, Amy Walsh, She hopes the vote will be her lost child's legacy.
Oh my God.
Others came from as far away as Canada, like Amy Fitzgerald, literally off the plane from Charlottetown.
Well, I suppose I want my voice heard. This is such an important issue. I think if it's a yes vote, it'll end the stigma and the shame.
Some would hold out until the end, hoping to change one more person's mind.
I suppose more than anything else, I feel I'm a witness for the babies and for the mothers, and do my best, do my bit.
Candles out then.
So much of this wrenching debate comes from the heart. For them, it's about all those who suffered and imagining a walk in their shoes.
We can't be ignored any longer, and gradually the silence that has prevailed in Irish society about abortion has kind of accumulated this week into a deafening roar.
According to the exit polls, those stories, now heard, seem to have resonated. Nala Ayed, CBC News, Dublin.
Now, Ireland is one of the few Western democracies that still doesn't allow women to have abortions, but it's not an outlier in the bigger global picture. This is where abortions can only be done to save a woman's life, or not at all. For example, in El Salvador, a woman can face up to 30 years in prison for having an abortion. Meanwhile, here are the countries, including Canada, where a woman can have an abortion without having to give any reason at all. In many other countries, she'd have to justify it on health or financial grounds. And lots more ahead tonight on The National, including the outbreak in India that has the world's top health officials watching very closely what we know about the spread of the deadly Nipah virus. Also, with the NDP and the Tories neck and neck in the polls, we'll look at whether millennials will be key in deciding who becomes Ontario's next premier. And a little later, the new recruit set to make history in more ways than one as Canada opens a search and rescue station in the Arctic.
It's important because I've lived in the South. I've gained these skills from the South, and I can take my knowledge from the Northern community and from the South, combine them together and use them.
In Alberta, about 1 in 4 kids attends Catholic school. That's more than 160,000 students. Now, we're not talking about private religious schools here. We're talking about a whole system of Catholic education, fully funded by taxpayers to the tune of $1.6 billion a year and complete with separately elected school trustees. Only 3 provinces still have education systems like this: Ontario, Saskatchewan, and Alberta. Why? It has to do with history, politics, and the Constitution. Check out Section 93 of our country's founding legal document. It guarantees the right to separate religious schools to any class of persons who already had them when Canada became a country. This was a way to keep the 2 dominant religious groups at the time happy. It meant Catholics and Protestants could each educate their kids according to their own beliefs, even if they found themselves in a religious minority in a particular area. But wait, you might say, Alberta wasn't a province at Confederation, so why does this apply to us? Well, the Alberta Act of 1905, which created the province, included a similar provision. It guarantees education rights that existed at the date of the passing of this act. That mainly means Catholic schools, but it also means Protestants can have their own separate schools in Catholic-dominated areas. It does not apply to other faith groups, however, who didn't come to Alberta in large numbers until much later. Fast forward more than a century, and this is still the law of the land. The same doesn't apply, though, in Nova Scotia, New Brunswick, PEI, and BC, which didn't have separate systems when they joined Canada. The other 3 provinces did have separate systems for a while, but opted to get rid of them. Manitoba did it way back in 1890. Quebec did it in 1997, and Newfoundland and Labrador became the latest to do it in 1998, following a referendum on the issue. In Alberta, there hasn't been the same push to abolish the Catholic system, but in late 2017, Alberta bishops warned those calls are growing ever louder.
Tonight on The National, a church librarian in Ottawa is dead after being violently attacked, and police say they don't know who did it. 59-year-old Elizabeth Salm was found unconscious yesterday inside an office at Ottawa's Christian Science Reading Room. She died today of her injuries. Members of her church community can't explain it.
The people here of the Christian Science Church are so kind and generous, and it's just such a shock that someone would come in from outside and do something as drastic as that. I'm really very, very sad about it.
Police have no suspect, no motive, but they're asking anyone with information to get in touch with them. And in Quebec, 3 cadets are facing expulsion from the Canadian Forces tonight. They're accused of creating a video that shows at least one student masturbating onto a copy of the Quran. The cadets are students at Royal Military College Saint-Jean. It happened at a party in March. Other students reported the video, and once officials got involved, they consulted an imam as part of their investigation, and he praised them for taking action.
These people, they don't realize the impact of the stupid acts they are doing. The army acted in the very correct way, and I salute them.
Now, in all, 4 cadets are being punished. 1 has agreed to leave the school, 2 others are fighting to stay, and the 4th is now on probation. We're also keeping an eye tonight on southern India. Officials there are dealing with an outbreak of a deadly virus you've probably never heard of. Nipah is a rare disease that damages the brain. It's been around since the late 90s, but has now surfaced in the Indian state of Kerala, killing 12 people. So, what is behind the outbreak? Here's Christine Birak.
As the death toll from Nipah virus rises, so does the fear. People experiencing flu-like symptoms are crowding hospitals, worried they've been infected. Nipah is as deadly as Ebola, but instead of attacking blood vessels, it attacks the brain.
About 40 to 75% of people that are infected with this virus will die, and people that survive are often left with permanent deficits afterwards.
Health officials say the first Indian victims were members of the same family. Their deaths have been linked to this drinking well where dead fruit bats were found in the water. The bats are known to carry Nipah virus and spread it through their saliva, urine, and feces. 20 years ago, the virus was discovered in Nipah, Malaysia. Fruit bats had infected pigs. The virus didn't kill the livestock, but farmers raising the pigs became infected and spread it to their families. 105 people died, and 1 million pigs were slaughtered before the outbreak was contained.
On day 1, there were 2 people, and then 4, and then 16.
Nipah is the virus that inspired the 2011 movie Contagion. It's on the World Health Organization's list of viruses most likely to cause a global pandemic. North America isn't home to fruit bats, but could Nipah arrive here in Canada by plane like SARS did?
It would be extremely unusual and unlikely for someone infected with this virus to land in Canada. And the reason is, even though we're so interconnected, this is still a very, very rare infection.
Canadian scientists have been studying Nipah virus inside a secure lab since 9/11.
There were concern about bioterrorism, and this was one of the agents which could be potentially used as a bioterrorist agent. So we started to work on that.
There is no cure or even treatment for Nipah virus. Biotech companies had said it wouldn't be profitable. But just yesterday, a coalition of governments and nonprofits pledged $25 million to speed up work on a vaccine. The Indian government says the outbreak in Kerala is minor. No travel warnings have been issued, but beaches in the popular tourist destination are now empty. Christine Birak, CBC News, Toronto.
Now, right off the top, Christine made a comparison between Nipah and Ebola. They're both deadly, but it's worth pointing out Nipah is not as easily transmitted between humans. There have been tens of thousands of Ebola cases, but since Nipah first appeared 20 years ago, as of 2015, it's infected around 600 people. Those outbreaks were all in Malaysia, Bangladesh, and India. But the World Health Organization warns other countries that are home to fruit bats could also be at risk, including Cambodia, Thailand, Indonesia, the Philippines, Madagascar, and Ghana. Well, up next on The National, with a race as tight as the Ontario election, we look at the challenges of courting a key vote, millennials. But first, whiplash, anyone? Just a day after saying he was canceling his upcoming meeting with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, Donald Trump had this to say.
could even be the 12th. We're talking to them now. They very much want to do it. We'd like to do it.
He must be having a giggle fit right there now in North Korea.
We are lacking the basic human contact.
He is the reincarnation of his 13 predecessors, the mystical center of the Tibetan nation, and a spiritual light for millions of Buddhists. Tonight, one of the world's great spiritual leaders, the Dalai Lama. In August of 1932, a year before his death, the 13th Dalai Lama wrote his final testament to the Tibetan people. Tibet, he warned, faced a great danger. It may happen that the holders of the faith will disappear. Monks and their monasteries will be destroyed. All beings will be sunk in great hardship and overpowering fear. Shortly after his death, the search began for his next incarnation. Eventually, a detailed vision was seen in the waters of Tibet's most sacred lake. It pointed to a humble farmer's home in a remote village. It took 2 years to locate, but finally a delegation arrived at the gate of that exact house. Inside was a small boy, the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. During his lifetime, the prophecy of his predecessor would come true. His country would be invaded, and he would have to lead his people down from their mountainous Shangri-La and into exile in the modern world. The Lamist Buddhist Monastery of America in eastern New Jersey, some 90 miles from New York City. Today is a rather special day. The Dalai Lama is visiting. Since 1959, he has lived in India, heading the Tibetan government in exile. He has come here to give a Buddhist teaching, the main public teaching he will give on the East Coast.
Can I see your invitation? This? Okay.
All right, then keep left.
Keep left all the way. Yeah, follow him. Go ahead.
People will be arriving from as far away as Europe and South America to be present at the teaching. As Thomas Merton wrote, no contemporary spiritual leader is so beloved by his followers. It's easy to see one of the reasons why when you talk with him.
Your Holiness, the last time we met, you told me about being chosen Dalai Lama at the age of 2 and the process by which this was done. What was it like growing up, being revered by millions of Tibetans? Did you have time to enjoy yourself, have fun, games?
Not much.
Not much.
Not much. But I think it's a very game how to say, play. I think that time and the place, how to say, is secluded. You see, I have not much relation or mixing with the other people, except you see my, playmate. Because I see elder people, but they're he's a very good player. There you see.
Just one day after calling off his face-to-face with North Korea's Kim Jong-un, President Donald Trump made yet another sudden reversal, suggesting the Singapore summit might not be dead after all. So what is going on? Here's Lindsay Duncombe with what's behind Trump's turnaround.
Diplomatic whiplash on the White House lawn.
We're going to see what happens. We're talking to them now.
After canceling the June summit because of North Korea's anger and hostility, today Donald Trump said it could go ahead as planned.
It could even be the 12th. We're talking to them now. They very much want to do it. We'd like to do it.
What changed? Overnight, North Korea softened its tone, saying in a statement, "We have the intent to sit down with the U.S. at any time." According to the U.S. Defense Secretary, it's all part of the usual give and take of trying to put together big summits.
I'm optimistic that our diplomats are working very hard to make this happen.
The fundamental sticking point remains, though. The U.S. wants North Korea to give up all its nuclear weapons, and North Korea doesn't want to. Trump's critics say he is giving the upper hand to Kim.
He must be having a giggle fit right there now in North Korea, in Pyongyang.
But Republicans see strength and expect Trump's next move will be to put pressure on the Chinese president to step in.
He's going to go back to China, I think, read them the Riot Act. If you want a peaceful conclusion to the North Korean problem, help me. If you keep playing this game that we played for 30 years, there's going to be a war in your backyard, not ours, and North Korea is going to lose.
Graham said the president will end North Korea's nuclear program one way or another, either diplomacy or war. Lindsay Duncombe, CBC News, Washington.
The on-again, off-again drama surrounding the summit is sending officials scrambling and likely left them a little confused in Washington and in Asia. The planning team of about 30 White House and State Department staffers is still scheduled to leave on Sunday for a logistics meeting in Singapore. But local media there report that hotel rooms that were blocked off for the summit have already been released back to tourists after Trump's comments yesterday. Well, now to the Ontario election and a virtual dead heat at the top of the polls. CBC's latest poll tracker has the New Democrats slightly ahead, just a 1/10 of a percentage point of the Progressive Conservatives, with the governing Liberals well back.
Hey there.
Now, the trailing Liberals likely hope to have the Prime Minister's vote. He cast an advance ballot today in Ottawa. But while Trudeau got a lot of credit for mobilizing young voters during the last federal election, there are questions about who is mobilizing Ontario's younger voters. And with a growing number of millennials now old enough to cast a ballot, motivating that generation is becoming more important than ever. Here's the CBC's Hannah Thibodeau.
Always plugged in and on the move. Millennials know what they want, including in the Ontario election.
Transit is huge for people that are commuting into the city.
The free tuition things for students. Just someone who will keep to their promises, I guess.
Is this the first time millennials outnumber
baby boomers? It's the first election in Ontario that there's boomers aren't the largest cohort of voters.
David Coletto knows millennials. At 36, he's one of them. He says in this election, this demographic could be an unstoppable force.
While they might be less likely to vote, if they do turn out, and that's a big if they do turn out, watch out.
Getting younger voters to the polls has always been an issue, but recently that trend may have turned. Just look at the last federal election. Justin Trudeau's team targeted those voters between the ages of 19 and 36. Youth turnout increased by nearly 20%, ultimately helping the Liberals win a majority.
He's not a millennial, but probably the most millennial leader we've seen in Canadian politics who could appeal directly to not only how we communicate, how we think about the world, the optimism that he had that millennials typically have.
Trudeau had a big promise that appealed to younger Canadians, legalizing marijuana. In the Ontario election, the three main parties don't have a plank like pot.
We need more transit.
It's time we bring the rules for beer and wine sales into the 21st century.
We need to take a hard look at government support for post-secondary.
How important is it?
Pollsters suggest the biggest issue is breaking into the housing market, which for many is unaffordable.
What's your favorite feature of
Oh, the kitchen, for sure.
Kara and Aaron Bailey say it's what they're listening for from the parties.
Because we're first-time homebuyers, and this is the first time that I've ever really looked into this type of thing, this election, it would be a priority.
But even having a youth-friendly platform isn't enough. How do you get a generation of cord cutters to even know your message? In Calgary, they harness the power of social media influencers. Last year, Naheed Nenchi's campaign targeted politically engaged young people, knowing they would help get the mayor's message out.
Tell 3 friends and kind of move it out through your social network, online and frankly offline as well.
There's no guarantee those likes and shares will translate into votes, but the potential exists to influence the outcome on June 7th. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Now, all 3 leaders will square off in one last debate before election night, and it happens right at the CBC in Toronto this Sunday. Rosie will host her special coverage starting at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. You can watch on CBC Television in Ontario and on CBC News Network right across the country. Well, just ahead, the National Ballet of Canada goes way beyond Swan Lake. It's fusing the ancient art of dance with some cutting-edge stagecraft.
A lot of the technologies that we're working with are, although may seem like they're quite invasive, are actually not. The dancers are able to sort of function.
I met Katie laying on her own turf in Alberta, although this radio studio is in Edmonton and not in her hometown of Consort. And the more I talked with her, the more I was intrigued by the complexity of her personality. How do I, seeing this articulate, reflective, philosophical, spiritual young woman, reconcile that with the person I see sing Hanky Panky? Because I think it isn't. It is the same person, and you know it's the same person.
Oh.
But give me a hand here.
Yeah, but the thing is that nothing can be separated. Nothing that we know or dream or think or taste or smell or or what have you can be separated, because it's all reality, it's all everything, it's something we experience. Anyway.
Enough of this philosophy. Tell me about the time
I'm
you threw
sorry.
yourself on the floor and on the street in Japan.
Okay.
Well, we actually have you doing it live and in action
Do you?
on film.
Oh, yeah.
This moment is preserved in history.
Okay, this is Harajuku Street,
Yes.
Japan, in which probably about 3 or 4 years ago became very popular for the alternative youths of Japan to go. Now it's very touristy and it's losing its alternation. Is that a word?
Yeah, but I don't think it fits in exactly that slot.
Okay, it's losing
it's
its...
the alternative nature of its alternative possibilities
Right.
to the normal
Thank
universe.
you. That's why you write and I sing. No, anyway.
No, there are other reasons.
So we went there, and we set up we set up a small PA, and we did some music, and that's just my ordinary show I put on for them.
You're saying Johnny get angry and threw yourself on the ground?
Yeah, but see, they're looking at me very, very strangely, and I figured out the other night that it's because they don't understand the words. Like there's someone. Oops, I just spit on the piano. They like.
Yeah.
Of course, they're watching some.
Well, of course they're looking at it. That's true.
Boy, girl throwing themselves down on the asphalt with expressionless faces.
What do you say? What is the last line of that song?
Johnny! You know I love you, of course. Let me know that you're the boss. Oh, Johnny, get angry. Johnny, get mad. Give me the biggest lecture I ever had. I want a rave man. I want a caveman.
How do we describe personal best?
It's a great question.
Self-improvement for people who are not into self-improvement.
We'll tackle the stuff you'd be too embarrassed to go to an attractive, wealthy success guru for.
I'm horrible at having conversations with cashiers.
I have a complete inability to get up on time.
I can't swim.
I would like to help a cow give birth to its calf.
Yeah, I think we can help.
I think we can do that.
To some people, ballet can seem old-fashioned, and to be fair, it often tells very old stories, but it's not stuck in the past. Two of Canada's world-renowned artists have joined forces in a project that fuses pretty stunning visual technology with the beauty of human movement. But when cutting-edge visuals get invited to dance, is there a danger they could just take over? Stephanie Skandaris shows us how these partners stay in sync.
It's not always this dark in a ballet rehearsal, but things are a little different when the dancers are sharing the stage with multimedia elements. The goal is a finished product that will blend ballet with technological wizardry in a way that entices audiences without taking away from the dance itself. That's in the hands of Guillaume Côté.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
He's the National Ballet of Canada's principal dancer turned choreographer. This is his second full ballet.
Can we both do a circle instead of doing these two?
To me, the whole performance feels like an animated film coming to life.
The projections, lights, and cinematic elements are up to the Canadian director Robert Lepage and his company Ex Machina. He's not afraid of shaking things up.
Classical ballet is a wonderful craft, and I respect it a lot. It's just that it also needs to be reinvented in a certain way. We have to, if we want the craft to survive.
Reinvention is one of Lepage's hallmarks. He's known for bold theatrical creations, like this Cirque du Soleil show, or the Image Mill in Quebec City, his hometown. For his first ballet, Lepage has chosen to honor the pioneering Canadian animator Norman McLaren, who Lepage discovered as a child.
I remember watching a hockey night in Canada, and when there would be overtime, then, of course, there was all this kind of delay, and it always kind of slot into Norman McLaren animation film.
McLaren's most famous film is Neighbours. It won him an Oscar in 1953. He also won awards for his films featuring dance, like Pas de Deux in 1968.
There's something very, very, very pure about his visual vocabulary, and very accessible and very universal, and that always moved me.
Frame by Frame weaves McLaren's films together with stories of his life and the development of his innovative techniques, like hand-drawn stop-motion animation using actors and dancers synced to music. Lepage says it's what McLaren might do if he were still alive. It's up to Côté to make sure the theatrical ideas don't overwhelm the dance.
A lot of the technologies that we're working with are, although may seem like they're quite invasive, are actually not. The dancers are able to sort of function almost seamlessly and almost without too much interaction so much with the elements.
That hasn't always gone smoothly for Lepage. His production of Wagner's Ring Cycle at New York's Metropolitan Opera deeply divided audiences. The harshest critics said his huge moving sets upstaged the singers. Sometimes they even broke down.
There's never any technical problems with Ex Machina and my role.
But the risks of going high-tech may be worth it, says dance critic Martha Shabas.
At its best, a collaboration like this has the potential to really make ballet seem of the moment. And I think that's crucial. I think that's what's going to draw new audiences. We really want to feel as though ballet is speaking to us now, that it has something to say to the 21st century.
In fact, Shabas says, technology and dance are having a moment. She points to the 92-year-old Martha Graham Dance Company, which recently wrapped up a 2-week residency at Google and showed the possibilities of blending dance and tech with these images. But it isn't always easy to get the mix just right. As Frame by Frame's world premiere draws near, its creators acknowledge not everyone may like what they're trying.
There'll probably be people in the audience who will be against that or who have a certain sense of what ballet should be. But eventually people tag along if what we do is sincere, if it's honest, and if the end result is exciting and moving.
Whether it's a hit or a misstep is up to audiences to decide. Stephanie Skandaris, CBC News, Toronto.
Well, from the stage to the sea, next month brings a first for Canada's Arctic. The Coast Guard is opening an inshore rescue boat station on Rankin Inlet. It'll provide search and rescue services during a boating season that has gotten longer, thanks to changes in climate. And here's what else makes it novel. The Coast Guard hired Inuit students from across the north to run it. Earlier this month, they completed rescue training at CFB Trenton in Ontario, and David Common got a taste of their action-packed exercises.
Everyone secure? Secure. All secure.
This may well be the jackpot of summer jobs. Not just high-speed maneuvering with your Coast Guard crew training on search patterns and rescue, but high-stakes operations with military helicopters. In case one of those rescues needs more help fast.
Just like a pro.
That was amazing talent. It was incredible. Not a lot of summer student jobs in Canada get to say that they had a helicopter right above them where you could almost touch it. So cool. This is a big one.
Allison Bates and Kiralee Kunilusi are firsts in a few ways. Rookies in the Coast Guard's Summer Inshore Rescue Boat program.
Stern line released. Okay, stern released.
Set to open the agency's first ever rescue station in Canada's vast north.
Keep that red buoy to your starboard side. Okay.
And the crew will be nearly all Inuit, like them. Another first.
I think I am moving forward, like as a young Indigenous woman, it means a lot to me. But it's important because I've lived in the South. I've gained these skills from the South, and I can take my knowledge from the Northern community and from the South, combine them together and use them.
Are you okay? Are you alone? We're the Canadian Coast Guard!
The intense training prepares the teams for on-water rescues and some of the most common problems they're likely to face.
I got
one
contact!
on each side.
Contact!
Remember, keep your center of gravity in the boat, too.
Okay, we're good. One.
But as much as the young Indigenous crew is learning from the instructors,
Pull. Good.
1, 2, 3.
the Coast Guard is learning from the Inuit too.
We're after a Coast Guard that reflects the Canada we serve.
Watching all the training is the Coast Guard's commissioner. For years, his and other agencies have sent Canadians from the south to help the Indigenous people in the north. And not surprisingly, the Inuit know their area better.
They know their waters. They know what it's like to live near the water. They know the risks.
The idea of accepting long-held local knowledge and empowering Inuit young people to serve their communities themselves is one Kira and Allison embrace.
I know that the governments have been working very hard on reconciliation stuff, and so having this first IRB station in the north, stationed in Rankin Inlet, it's going to be really great, and it shows that they are working towards what they had promised us. It's taking time, but this is another little step in the process of getting to good grounds.
Gross tonnage is 33.
Kira and Allison's rescues will start here, the Joint Rescue Coordination Center in Trenton, Ontario, a kind of 911 for search patrols in central Canada. When a call for help is received, the Coast Guard crew will be deployed along the vast shores of Hudson's Bay, a far cry from the relative calm of training along Lake Ontario.
It's definitely a really great experience, and knowing that we're going to be like the face that somebody sees if they're in distress.
The region they'll patrol is vast, much like the Arctic. The crew, while all Inuit, come from many communities,
We're going to head west.
though none from the one they'll live in, Rankin Inlet. but Allison doesn't think that'll be an issue.
Growing up in the north, you learn how to take people in that are new.
Kira has first-hand knowledge of what it's like to be new. 6 years ago, she and her family moved from the north to the south, away from her tight-knit community of Pangnertung and Nunavut, all the way south to Ontario.
It was quite the culture shock. I think a lot of people don't realize how much of a culture shock it is.
Was it hard?
Yes, it was most definitely hard.
What were the things that were most overwhelming about it?
I think just the way things were done differently were very different from the Arctic.
Now in her early 20s, it's been a long journey, one that's taking her back to the Arctic once again, taking her home.
We currently have 3 souls on board the helicopter and request that you act as our safety vessel. Confirm copy.
She'll be part of a tradition her ancestors have kept up for centuries, coming to the aid of each other and of foreigners. But now, for the first time, they'll be doing it with the full backing of a Northern Coast Guard station. An important step, and also a pretty cool way to spend the summer.
What do you think of that, eh? Good job, Stalin.
David Common, CBC News on the Bay of Quinte in Ontario.
That's so cool.
Now, as Arctic waters become more inviting to boaters, the Coast Guard says it wants to be prepared for a spike in distress calls. So here's a bit more from Coast Guard Commissioner Jeffrey Hutchinson.
Right now it's a tourist route, and we have a lot of people in small craft, sailboats, family-size cabin cruisers, right up to small cruise ships. That's actually the biggest risk in the Northwest Passage at the moment. We can get inshore rescue boat stations doing search and rescue. We start to take some of the risk out of the people who currently might view the Northwest Passage as an obstacle course to be conquered. It's the wrong attitude, it's the wrong approach. It's how people are going to get into trouble, and we're trying to bring the resources to be there when people need us.
Beautiful place, though. We'll go deeper on the stories of the day earlier in the day. Subscribe to our newsletter, cbcnews.ca/The National. The National Today takes you inside our journalism every afternoon.
Thank you. Right now, I'd like to bring out another fellow who's been on Music Hop before, and I know you're going to like him because he does such a terrific job on everything he sings. He's got a new folk song number for us, one that is really starting to make it on the hit parade charts. Let's have a real good welcome for Gord Lightfoot as he sings Jimmy Rogers' new up-and-comer, 210-618.
I've been away so long, fought a war that's come and gone. Doesn't anybody know my name? My sister's up and wed, and my mama's put to bed, and now my old dog Red's gone lame. Please tell me if you can, what time do the trains roll in? 210, 618, 1044. The house is falling down, ain't no use in hanging around. Doesn't anybody know my name? The girl I left behind, she's gone with a friend of mine. I don't have to read a sign to know things ain't the same. Please tell me if you can, what time do the trains roll in? 210, 618.
Gord, how do you feel about the way the folk songs are booming these days?
It's very good, Al. It's
certainly is a lot of work around for folk singers, and it's becoming quite evident. A lot of our more commercial type folk songs are becoming quite evident in the history.
Doesn't anybody know my name?
Here we go. Just remember the greatest gift is today. Just remember your greatest gift is today. So take it back again to your side. Sway it to the right. Then you take it back again down low. Then you've ever been before. You push your man to the side. Fall down to the floor. You pick yourself back up again. Then you walk right through the door. You let your
I'll be your custom model. Done deal with Ali in Toronto, fighting George Cavallo. Rappers are lost, they searching for tomorrow. Need a father figure to follow.
Tonight on The National, some good news for WestJet passengers. It appears the threat of a pilot strike is over. The airline and the union representing the pilots have agreed to go through a settlement process with the help of a federal mediator.
We just hid. We hid. We were quiet, muffled crying. I held my hands with one of my friends saying, it's going to be all right. We're going to be okay.
Frightening moments in Indiana after a student armed with 2 handguns opened fire inside a classroom. A teacher and another student were shot, but witnesses say it could have been worse. The teacher, who was wounded, tackled the shooter to the ground, protecting others in the room. The student was then arrested. Police are now trying to figure out why the student opened fire and where the guns came from.
House on that side over there, also gone. This is insane.
Indeed, an up-close look tonight at the destructive power of Hawaii's Kilauea volcano. Lava engulfing homes as it creeps through a residential area on the Big Island. And there's no sign of it slowing down. Check out these new pictures of lava hitting the Pacific Ocean. It's now entering at 3 points. And that's a problem for island residents because when the lava hits the water, it creates something called lays or lava haze, a toxic mix of gas and tiny shards of glass. And you are looking at one of the first tornadoes of the season. Environment Canada confirmed today that this dark funnel was a land spout tornado. It took shape about 180 kilometers east of Regina, and it was just one of 2 confirmed tornadoes in Saskatchewan yesterday. The other was spotted about 75 kilometers southeast of Regina. Well, when it comes to major court cases, sketch artists take us right inside the courtroom for a glimpse at what happens when a suspect appears before a judge. But they are artists, after all, and some take a few creative liberties, something many online pointed out today after Harvey Weinstein's court appearance. And that is our moment of the day.
Mr. Weinstein,
the sketch artists took a beating online today for their work. You can see both have very different creative visions of what Weinstein looked like. Many think this looked more like stand-up comedian Bob Newhart. Others mocked this pastel, depicting a pot-bellied Weinstein as he was hauled in cuffs. And if you were thinking that you'd seen a sketch like this before, you're not wrong. Jane Rosenberg is the same artist who sketched footballer Tom Brady during Deflategate. That, too, became an internet sensation, being compared with everything from E.T. to Gollum.
And with pastels, it's very hard to get accurate when you work small. So I did the best I can. I'm under tremendous deadline pressure. I work very fast, and I do it right then and there. It's not like I took it out and fixed it up and had time with photographs to copy it and fix it.
Now, Rosenberg is actually long considered one of the top courtroom sketch artists in this country, and she had a message for those would-be art critics out there.
If somebody else could do a better job, let's see. Go ahead, show me.
Fair enough. And one more bit of food for thought. Some folks have pointed out how odd it is that they even still have sketch artists in New York, particularly in the first place, because in that state, cameras are allowed in the courtroom. That's The National for this May 25th. Thanks for joining us. Have a good night.